Hey, hi, hello. It's Easy Astro, aka Jaleel the Third, and yes, this is season aspect where like astrology seasons, the conversations here and there, but the full conversation, like the bread and butter, your meal is gonna come from the topics shared between myself and whoever I have on here on the podcast, talking about different topics, different subjects, whatever. So today, it's been a minute, but we are here. Life be life, but I'm happy to have one of my friends on here, and I'm gonna give him the floor to share who he is, his big three, how things are with him. So, hey Nick, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? So my name is Nick Pierre, visual storyteller out of New Orleans by way of Lafayette, Louisiana. Yeah, so my big three is funny. So I am a Leo sun, Capricorn moon, and a Sagittarius rising.
Yes.
We need to get
So
you like some intro music or something like
I
that.
need something like what comes to mind is like to get into talking is how when people pass seasonings around the table. Granted, I
Mhm.
hadn't been at a table that big in a minute where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you have like this muffled conversation, but you hear or like Waffle House, how you hear like the clacking and all that.
Oh, that'd be
Like
fine.
that's what I think about coming into the introduction. But I haven't like been around a large group of folks to like think about, oh, I need to record that. Or been to a Waffle House. Like
Mhm.
do they have yeah, they have Waffle Houses. I think the farthest out west is Arizona, but it's not a southern it's not a southern Waffle House
What you mean
experience,
not a
like
Southern Waffle House? Like what? I'm trying to, like, wrap my head around, Waffle House is not in the South, first and foremost. And I'm sorry if this is off subject, but now you got me fucked up because like,
look,
what
no, 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 it's all
you
good. There's no problem,
not
like,
the
you
South.
have a whole ass Waffle House, that big ass yellow building with a cactus behind it. It's literally that.
Is it safe?
I mean, it's safe. Shit, as a Waffle House can be safe.
Yeah, okay, fair. Huh.
So it don't hit the same,
Okay.
and I just don't I hadn't been out to, like, an area to provide that sound, so, yeah, Imma have to think about some audio music when that comes to be, but I appreciate that. I'm glad that you said that
I got
because yeah, it's something. It's gradual progressions because this has been, like, a thing to work into. Because like, "Oh, yeah, this is a podcast. Let's do Instagram Live. Let's make it into a podcast. Let's do
mhm.
this. Let's do all the editing." And I'm just like, "Oh shit, this is fun, but it's a lot." And it's
Work.
like
It's work.
it's ugh. So I'm like, okay, cool. We gonna work with it. But as I said, life is life. And how have you been with just managing things and all of the ins and outs of stuff as a Nick?
Keeping the ball rolling, I think that's the biggest thing. Is like, there's moments of pressure for sure. I don't know if it's just, like, the time of the year or if it's like because it's the like third quarter, fourth quarter situation, like end of the year, like people trying to get their last whatever's in for the end of the year, keep they promises to themselves or, hit them goals. But I feel like everything is happening all at once. I think my biggest thing is just to try to maintain some kind of like foundation to come back to. Cause it's like there's only so much you can control. So try to, be responsible for what I can be responsible for, and everything else, I don't have time to
Oh, no,
really
that's real. Like, I completely
you know,
understand that. So what helps you stay grounded when everything is in motion? Like
silence, me time. Like, my best example is, like, if I come home from, like, a wild ass work day or just a wild day period, just, like, if I can come home on my couch, either with my headphones or, like, just have absolutely nothing to think about for about an hour, that's all I need. Like, I just need to come back to me. What I've also found too is running is a big thing for me because you're thinking about so many things. It's like you try to keep your form right, try to make sure you're breathing, try to check on how you feeling mile to mile, or like try to keep in your pace. So it's like there's so many things you have to keep in consideration that it kind of escapes everything else escapes. So it's somewhat meditative. It's hard as hell. Yeah, I'm not gonna act like like I'm some kind of athlete or it's something that comes easy. Some days is hard, some days is slow, but I feel like it's a good way to kind of erase anything else that was in my head at the time. So that's been super helpful for me. So silence, music, and running my ass off. Literally running away from my problems.
I can feel that. I don't relate because I'm not a runner. It's not that I can't run, it's just that I haven't, like, trained myself to run. As you said, like, "Oh, form and everything." I'm just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." Like, my best friend from college, she runs or she's a runner, she coaches running, like but me, yeah, no, I explore, like, hiking
Mhm.
is nice, it's pretty,
Yeah.
put you in the moment, but groundedness, as far as I can definitely relate to, like, the alone time and the music and just, like me, on the other hand, when I'm alone, thoughts.
Mm,
Thoughts definitely swarm and take place, so it's just, like, sometimes I find myself when it comes to listening to music that thoughts will take over, and, like, "Damn, I'm not even listening to the music anymore," so
mm,
that's the part that sucks, so it's like, I'll either be attentive to new music where it's an artist that either I haven't heard or the songs that I hadn't listened to, or really try to, like, actively be in the moment. I find
yeah.
myself in the moment, like, grounded. Meditation, yes. Yoga, still find myself amidst my thoughts, but when shit just completely escapes me, it's being amidst, like, big ass, like either monuments, statues, or just bodies in the
Mm,
environment, like mountains, like what is it, the first time I saw a sequoia tree in Yosemite, that shit was beautiful, but, like, fight or flight kicked in, cause
really?
yeah, like, I got to the top of the Mariposa Grove, it's like a 4-hour walk or hike depending on how you get to it, or to the very top of it, but in the middle, you can be at the Wawona like, where they used to have the old Wawona Hotel, and they had in this book, they talked about this one sequoia tree that's, like, 250 feet up, there's this inverted scar, and I'm just like, "Oh my god," like, what the like, what the fuck, how does this look? I was so fucking afraid. When I tell you, I had to tell myself, like, "Hey, it's nothing in here that won't scare you. Like, you good, you okay?" But it was dead fucking quiet.
Hmm.
Like, you know how down south you hear cicadas, you hear something,
Yeah, you hit something.
like, nothing. And I'm just like, yeah, it
Loki sounds freaky, I'm not gonna hold you.
it was beautiful, but I got to the point where it's like I was walking and it was a group of girls in front of me just talking and shit. I'm just like, "Damn, I really wish they would shut up." And they got ahead of me, and it just got dead quiet. I'm just like, "Hey." I just started talking to the environment around me. I'm like, "I am so sorry to
Mm,
encroach on your space. I'm about to go." So, yeah, it's beautiful, but those moments put me in the moment. Like, it sucks, but if I could be outside to be around things like that, that's great, but I'm like, "Hey, I ain't trying to feel like I gotta, like, dip, or do I need to be here and just
mhm.
be on surveillance all the time?" So,
Yeah, no, I feel that.
yeah, it'd be like that, but
It do be like that.
no, I do feel that though. I do feel you with the moments and keeping yourself grounded amidst everything because we literally just came off of like eclipse season and eclipses, you have the north node, you have the south node, they be moving and you have these moments where the sun and the moon reach or come in contact with the nodes and it's like, hey, we had a north node in Pisces or we have the south node in Virgo and we had the lunar eclipse that was, like, releasing Let It Go in Pisces, and then we had the Virgo solar eclipse that was kinda, I wanna say 2, 3 weeks ago in Virgo, literally at 29 degrees, like, powerhouse. Shit's intense. But with you specifically, how is that or how has that been for you? Because the South Node has been going through your 10th house. The 10th house, for people who are listening and hearing this, watching this, whatever, this deals with career, vocation, like how you're perceived publicly. And you also have your Mars and your Venus in Virgo. And Mars in Virgo, Venus and Virgo, like creative drive, creative activity. And how you've seen that show up with you, like the South Node purging, releasing, clearing out some debris that's not really you trying to keep that going with you, stuck on you. And with Virgo, it can have like these eerie, like, hey, Venus dealing with Virgo is like kind of like acts of service, practical, wanting to be able to help out, kind of grounded ideas a sense. And with Mars being in Virgo, it can be more like, hey, you can be kind of not overbearing, but the thing with Virgo is like things wanting to be in its place, having
Mhm.
things not being critical, but hyper awareness that can be something. But it sounds like I'm saying everything that's negative. Virgo is a great area. I'm a Sag rising. I have Virgo in the 10th house as well, but
Yeah.
this is about you. So, how has this been with you in these placements? Because placements that sit in your 10th house, those are the ones that everybody can see the highest
Mm.
attention out of everything in your chart. So, how has it been for you?
Yeah, it's so much. It's so funny you say that. So I'm not super inclined when it comes to the like astrology space, but I do have like homegirls like yourself that like keep me in line because I will tell you like there's some times where it's like I feel like shit is getting critical. It's like, all right, what's happening with what's up with the stars? What's going on? That I'm not catching. Who's in that retrograde? What's happening? Who I need to talk to about this shit? Right. So it's so funny you say that because towards the end of September, it felt like I wrapped up or had conversations I needed to have, conversations I was been procrastinating on that lingered for a minute, to say the least. And it's funny because like there were some instances where the person I needed to like speak to came to me, and then there was like some conversations I had to have, like I had to initiate. So and it's funny because like all these like conversations happened between like the last week of September. So like towards the back end of I guess Virgo season. Right. So like immediately like a weight lifted off my shoulders. Cause these are conversations that I've been playing in my head for months, for years, some of them just like tinkering, and that might be the Virgo in me, like making sure that it's perfect before I approach these people with this. And then also like playing it in my head. I was like, all right, if they say this, what am I gonna say if they say this? Or vice versa. I was like, they probably gonna react like this because in the past they've done XYZ. So I'm playing all this mental chess without even putting that other person in the room or putting or even giving that other person the chance to react, you know, because I've already played it out in my head like 18,000 times, right? So those conversations happened and they're done. It's like we've come to the conclusion we need to come to, and like we're all on good terms, so it all worked out. So that I'm super thankful for. Shout out to Virgo season for that.
That's what's up. Like, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, shout out to my therapist too. She put me on she gave me a little challenge. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I should reach out at this point. Uh but yeah, and on the creative side, I feel like since like 2023, I've been like having this pivot to try to put myself more out there, right? But in a way that I'm comfortable with. So I've been a videographer for like the past 7 years, and I've just kind of switched to more so photography. Street photography is just something to keep me busy, keep the creative juices still sharp and flowing, right? Keep my eye sharp. And it's become more of a hobby, like as a hobbyist or whatever. But I'm starting to kind of get back into it. It's like, okay, maybe I can do this for real, you know, again, or in some capacity. I fled through videography because I like to be on the fly on the wall. Like it gave me something to do, especially like in social settings. It like gave me an opt out. I was like, well, I gotta go. I'm working right now type thing, right? So I would be in the function without being in the function. So it was perfect for my introverted ass. It was like, I'm here, but I'm not really here at the same time, which gave me the opportunity to hide. And I realized through time, it was like, I've just been hiding and I've let a very, very few people in my life see me in totality. And I mean, I come to the realization, I was like, that's no way to live, right? So I have been trying to put myself more out there little by little. And my avenue I found that worked for me was Substack. So I've been doing a little more writing. I challenged myself to put out something at least once a month. I've been doing that for like 2 years now. It's super uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie, especially seeing how people react to certain things. Like 2023, I got laid off. So like I wrote about that. One of one of the like my best pieces in my opinion, and like something that people like gravitated to. I wrote about me burning out in 2019, like just doing way too much. First moving into New Orleans, just working nonstop, like literally just burning myself out to the point where I had to go to a mental health clinic to like readjust and like get my shit together and actually just sleep. That's like what it really came down to. Is like, nigga, you just need to stop for like 3 days, and that's what ended up happening. But yeah, it's funny to see like having these conversations with myself and like putting it on paper and seeing people react to them. It was like, "Oh, yeah, no, I've also been through something like that." And I'm noticing the more vulnerable I am, the more I'm connecting with people, which feels crazy. Like, it's ugh, like, I
Oh,
shouldn't be thinking about
God.
this shit, right? But, like, it's not easy for me to put these pieces out because, like, I'm the type that, like, I'll sit and it's like, "Am I really going?" It's like, this is like a diary entry. Am I really gonna hit post? Am I really gonna let these people see this shit and, like, live on the internet for the rest of the internet's entirety? So yeah, I'm learning the more vulnerable you are, that you're giving people the opportunity to connect with you. That's how you find your people is, when you let your guard down, which is
Oh,
nuts.
that shit is hard.
It's so nasty.
Like
It's oh, it's against every Virgo placement and Capricorn placement in my body, but it's
No, I have Chiron and Virgo in the 10th house, so it's just wounds around appearing to have perfection in what you wrote. Like, I remember one time I was applying for a job and I had sent somebody my resume and either that or proposal or something. And when I tell you it came back with so many fucking red marks, and I called them back crying. When I say crying, not like, "Oh, just tears." It's just like throwing up, like, "Please don't give up on me." They're just like, "No, what are you talking about? Just fix the mistakes." I'm just like, "These are a lot of mistakes."
yeah.
And just that analysis paralysis is just like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I have this idea. I wanna bring it to fruition, but how is it gonna be perceived? Is that it's a lot.
Yeah,
So, I definitely understand, like, working on stuff and wanting to put it out and your voice and sharing things, and you really got into the question I wanna ask you about your other placements, but carrying it from this 10th house to your 9th house, but also opposing your 3rd house. 9th house, 3rd house axis communication. So, ninth house dealing with publication, third house dealing with like, hey, how you go about communicating in your immediate environment, how you share your thoughts. And you have your Saturn retrograde in your third house, and it opposes your sun not directly, but like 2 degrees. And then you have Chiron exactly at 0 degrees in Leo. So Chiron is this thing that is known as a wounded healer. And as you said, wounds, sharing them with people, you find your community, and that's ideally the sense of Chiron. It's like, hey, you expose these wounds, and that's how you make them better. How you heal them is by exposure. So with that, it's just like, hey, like, how do you have that period, or how you feel your Saturn return was for you? Because I feel like you explained it with, like, you showcasing these experiences of you moving to New Orleans, you, like, getting laid off from work, you crashing out, you going to a mental space and resting, like, I feel like not even feel like, that's Scorpio 12th house, like, 12th house dealing with institutions, like, things that are put away, like the unseen, the subconscious, so yeah, how is your Saturn return? If you wanna dive deeper, how you see that showcase for you now? Because like I said, the ninth house deals with publication,
yeah,
like long distance travels, and that doesn't mean like, oh, you actually traveling, like physically, it can be within your mind. So it's like,
yeah,
hey, those experiences, those lessons that you've taken from your Saturn return and like the concept or the idea that it deals with like, hey, being seen or being validated, how do you go about navigating or appreciating those, like, terms? Being a Leo, like, we
yeah.
didn't even touch that, but yeah,
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
feel that?
It's a few things, man. It's a few lessons, honestly. Like one, I think, kind of touched on what we just talked about. That perfectionism is just another form of procrastination. It's like you dragging your feet, trying to get something perfect instead of putting it out, and now it's 6 years later, and you still ain't even done anything. You know. So I think once I got that under my scalp, there's like this procrastination. It's just like perfectionism is just like procrastination's cousin. Basically, it made me see things a little bit differently, especially with my work. And I think that's why I also had to pivot away from videography because it was driving me crazy with the perfectionism. Because it's like, I would get this shot or I would get this visual, and I was like, I'm already tearing it to shreds. I was like, this is too shaky. It's like if I had this lens, then I could do X, Y, Z. Or if it's like if I just took my time and it held this clip a little bit longer, I was like, oh, what am I gonna do with this? Like, where is this gonna go? It has to have a purpose behind it, you know? And with film photography, it's you got it or you didn't. Especially with film, it's like if you got the pick, I don't have the satisfaction of seeing it immediately after, like in digital. So it's like I took the picture. We'll see what it comes out to be when I develop it, right? So I think it really taught me a lot of patience as well. So between perfectionism is procrastination's cousin, being patient and whatever God is trying to tell you. I think there's a part two within my return where I was so sure about certain things, and there was like a very abrupt shift that happened that pretty much threw me into like, I gotta figure this out from square one all over again. So like that shift was I was in broadcast television for like 7 years. And then all of a sudden I'm doing restaurant marketing. Didn't know shit about restaurant marketing. I was a cameraman for 7 years. So this is all new. And, like, at the time, I really wasn't getting the support to, like for success. So I'm just, like, trying to figure it out for 6 months and also, like, planning my escape because like, this don't look self-sustainable for another year or another couple months, so let me see about getting the fuck. And that's how I ended up getting laid off. But luckily, I was, like, on the way to another job. Like, I had, like, a month off, basically, like, a month in between before, like, starting my current job now. So it all worked out. So it was a lot of being patient within that stillness, um, and just I don't wanna use that cliche, trust in the process, but, like, some of those cliches hold weight. It's like there was a point where, like, I don't know where I'm headed or how this is gonna work out, but it's things have worked out in the past. So I'm gonna hold on to that and hope for the best and try to make the best out of what I got at the moment. Whether it's not spending money to go into a museum for free, trying to figure out how to cook chicken breast in 18 different ways to to tighten up. But it's you figure it out and you find joy. You try to find joy in the little things like that, and again, music has been that streamline to like keep me moving and keep my head steady and keep me grounded for the most part.
Mm. So you bring in music. Something that came to mind is like, have you seen music transition to like the foreground and background of life in some sense? How's it shown up for you? Because I feel that I also saw too in online one point where people who have placements, prominent placements like Capricorn, they're
Mhm.
something notable with music. So you
Huh.
have a whole ass stellium, Neptune, Uranus, your moon, and one of your nodes, I don't know if it's your north node or your south node, and Cancer, Capricorn. You're on that axis. But yeah, that emphasis, how do you see that show up for you?
Oh, music shows up literally in every part of my life, like whether I want to or not. Like my big brother is a jazz musician, so I was introduced to jazz at like a super young age. My dad was like the neighborhood music person too. Like he had a stack of records. He still curses people out because like such and such got my records, never gave my shit back. It's like this nigga. It's been 40 years now. I don't know what to tell you. Um, but like my mom, same way. Like she like heavy Baptist, so like I have that background. Like I grew up a church kid, like Kev on stage would say. So like I felt like I was just touched in a lot of other like pretty much the whole diaspora of like Black American music in some form or fashion. And then when I go outside, I'm listening to Boosie and Webby with my friends. Like with my neighborhood partners. So it's like it just hits in every aspect of my life. It's funny. Like, so I went to like a private middle school, and my biggest concern, like shifting from private to public, going to high school, is like I don't know what these niggas is listening to. I don't want to be like a outcast musically, like because that's my way. Always related to people was music. I also like identify as an introvert, so that's also my way into like conversations and like having like starting off, conversations with people. It's just like, oh, what are you listening to, or
I'm so
you
sorry.
know,
I'm just okay. The reason why I'm thinking like my mind, I'm listening to you, I'm hearing you talk, but
mhm.
also it's like the introduction to a song or introduction to a conversation. And I know it's not the way that this would go, but my mind is just like, yeah, like what you know about this new Wayne, nigga, like being in middle school.
Dead ass. What you want? But you joking, but that's exactly how niggas was in high school. It was like, nah, I bet you ain't got that new Wayne. No, not that Wayne. The other Wayne. It just dropped. Like, especially at that time, like when we was in high school, Wayne was dropping music every goddamn day. It was like every day. Niggas was in competition. It was like, nah, you ain't got it first though. So that's how I met a lot of niggas too. It's funny you say that because that's exactly what happened.
So that makes me think, like, what music were you listening to in middle school? Because, like, me in middle school, I remember putting the uncut version or the unedited version of what is it, David Banner's that song. It sounds like an exercise song. It's not an exercise
Whoa,
song.
Clay?
Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
Yo, man.
I was
That's
just
what
like, why does it sound like this? I'm just
that's
like,
crazy. That's one song where it's like, I don't know if I ever want to hear this
it's
unedited.
that. It's Sexual Eruption by
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
It's,
And I saw a TikTok on it recently the other day about the Dream the Shit. Like, I don't really care
yeah.
for
It's
it.
like
Like
you do
the
that.
dirty version. I'm just like, being the pirate that I was back in middle school, like I always wanted to get the dirty versions of songs,
Right,
but when it
right.
came to certain songs, like, oh my God, like y'all so intense. Why
Yo,
is this like this?
Curse is just a curse. What are you talking about?
Like,
Especially David Bann's play was raunchy as hell.
I was like, I remember sitting in my 6th grade history class about like ready for the bell to go. And I put it in my CD player and he's like, run girl, I'm trying to get your put. I'm like, oh my God. Can anybody else hear it? Like, you would have your like headphones up loud enough where you could hear shit and be quiet as hell. I was just like, oh my God. Yeah, so those are the type of songs that I was having this shit like in middle school. So yeah, like what about you? What songs were you
See,
you
I
listening
didn't
to?
become a pirate till my sophomore year in high school. So a lot of the music I was getting, I was like asking my friends to burn me music. So I was like kind of at their mercy. I remember this one dude, I would ask him for music, but he would end up giving me the songs he liked off the album. There was one album, I remember if you remember Crunk Juice.
Yeah.
Like lovers and like one with lovers and friends and shit on it. This nigga gave me like 6 songs off that album. He's like, nah, these are the ones I like. I was like, if you could download it for free, why are let me make the decision of what's good. Anyway, so I know like 4 songs off of Crunk Juice that I really fucked with. I was really into Jaquan,
It's the song.
Nipsey.
Yeah, like the crazy part is like I think about the old what's the dude now? Shabuzi. Like that's the first thing that comes to
Yeah,
mind. It's like, oh yeah, him. That
him.
song.
I was really into Jaquan, Joel Santana, and okay, I feel like I gotta like have a caveat when I say this. Cassidy, but this is like hotel room Cassidy and like early Cassidy before the car accident. So he was a little bit sharper than he is now. He still got it. I won't say that, but it's not the same Cassidy. And 2003 was a very different world musically. And it's funny enough because like niggas didn't know that he was a battle rapper. So a lot of people's first like introduction to him was like Hotel or the shit he had with R. Kelly. So it's like that nigga's a battle rapper. And then like I remember seeing I think MTV2 started showcasing some battle raps. And sure enough, Cassidy was one of them niggas giving niggas issues. And that's the whole world I got into at that time. And then I started stealing music in high school. So I was stealing niggas' whole discographies literally every day for 4 years.
Let me see. Okay, so middle school, what happened? Yeah, so I had a CD player. Then I don't know when at one point I got a MP3 player,
Yeah.
but my stepdad, he was dating my mom at the time and he would make her playlists and he's a DJ. So like for one, I would just like add songs that he would add to these playlists or CDs onto my MP3. So it's like, okay, I got introduced to older songs. Like
Mm.
to this day, Erotic City by Prince is one of the
Mhm.
songs that I enjoy.
Yeah.
But, then it's like, okay, then getting to, like I said, play, I didn't download all albums, I just downloaded, like, songs, like, songs that
Mm.
you heard that was popular off of 106 and Park and shit like that, so, a lot of Crank that was on my MP3 player, like, I had Crank
Yeah.
Batman, like, there was
Craig that
another
Yank.
Look, that due to Heisman, there was a lot of like
A lot of dances. It was a lot of cranking. We was doing a lot of cranking in 2005.
like what is it? It's what is I think of that song "Whoop That Hoe." I think
Mm, Puerto
of
Rico?
Lil Rico. Yeah, it's a lot. I just think of like 106 in Park. Like I think of the fact that Crank That Batman was number one for a long ass time.
Ain't that Batman made it to 106 in Park?
Yes, it was number 1 in middle school. I remember that for a good minute. I remember, what was it, first day of either 7th grade or 8th grade, or around that time. That was, like, when Kanye West and 50 Cent had their album
Mm, I
dropped the
remember that.
same day, and they were on 106
Yeah.
in Park. So I was trying to get home as soon as I could to watch that. But yeah, like, a lot of popular songs. And even before the CD player, MP3 player, like, my uncle had bought me a Walkman, and I
Mm.
had got a radio player or like shit, a fucking, not a boombox, but it was like a little cute thing where it had like
I was
a
just talking
tape
about a little
player,
CD
CD
player, yeah.
player, radio, all that good stuff. So, living in Atlanta, we played V103, and I would just like record shit off the radio and just
Oh,
like put it
yeah.
in my Walkman and listen
Oh,
to it.
yeah.
So, yeah, listening to various different, blackness in
Do
middle
you remember your
school.
first CD that you bought, like, with your hard-earned money?
Oh, my first CD that I bought with my own hard on it was Drake.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was Drake. 10th grade year, what was it? Was that You Can Thank Me Later? I think that
Yeah.
was. Yeah,
Uh,
uh,
yep. That was it.
that was my first, like, actual album that I bought myself, but I had other albums,
Mhm.
like, the first album when you said that, that came to mind was, like, Beyonce's Dangerously in Love. Granted,
Mhm.
I would think I was in, like, 1st grade, but yeah,
Yep.
if you want to know why I got into astrology, Signs by that by her, like,
I see the
that is
connection.
how I know, like, the whole astrological, like, 12 signs because of that chorus, and now thinking back, I'm just like, "Damn, she was really sprung off the nigga," because 'cause I'm just like, okay. So I listened to the part of the song that's backwards. It's just like got game like a Sagittarius, and I'm just like, wow, I did not realize like how gone she was off this man. Damn. Oh, okay. Thank you for this, because now I know my signs. But yeah, this shit crazy. But
Got
yeah, that's like some origins. But Origins is, like, me trying to read. I was trying to read the comic in AT Aliens, like, in the basement of
Ooh.
my aunt's house where my cousins, like, my 20-year-old cousins and my mama, they were all hung out, and, like, back in, I wanna say August, either August or September, I bought the album at a record store, and I was just, like, talking to my mama, she's like, "Bro," I was like, "I can only imagine, like, how it was to listen to this when it came out." She's like, "Man, what?" Like, we was
Mhm.
downstairs in the dungeon, like, I was just like, "Bro, it just gives vibes." And
That's
Atlanta too, like, I'm
yeah.
bro, and I just
That's
remember trying to read it, and I was, like, low key pissed because they didn't have the comic and the vinyl.
yeah.
I'm just
That's
like,
funny you say that. My 2nd rap album I bought was Stankonia. Because of Miss
"Dang."
Jackson and all that. And for a nigga that was like grew up mostly on Houston music, that was not exactly what I was ready for. Because it's like, what these niggas not really rapping like that. Cause you know, like Andre 3000, he's singing and shit. Big Boy might have a verse here or there, and it was so like sonically different than anything else I ever heard. Like Bombs Over Baghdad had a fucking choir, there was drums going off, like the shit sounded like a car crash at some points. Like it blew my mind. And like even now, like I had to. It wasn't until college that I fully appreciated Stankonia. But like, I just imagine like hearing that for the first time, and like if I'm the demographic for Stankonia, it's like I was not. If I felt like that, like as a Southern nigga, it's like I could only imagine what like people like I guess older first time hearing Outkast, like what did they expect from these niggas, especially coming from ATLians and coming from Aquemini. It's like like it's so far left, and like I feel like it's like a peak of how like Andre is now, so experimental, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, like, that was, like, the early introductions into his, like, individual style,
Hmm.
and greatly, greatly appreciated. Also, think about the
Yeah.
fact too that I don't remember where I saw it, but someone or he said to the effect that he doesn't have anything to rap about at this point in time now, so he doesn't
Mhm.
rap. So
Andre,
when I
yeah.
think about or, like, listen to his verses in older songs like Love, Spodioty, Dopalicious, for the
Mhm.
longest, I could not figure out what the song like, the name of that song was. Like, when I
Mhm.
was in high school, I was trying to get, like, the assistant band director to make, like, a rendition of it so the trumpets could play it. I was just like, "I
Mhm.
don't know what the song is. I just know in the chorus they say the D word, like, 3 times." It's like, "What are you talking about?" But I'm just like, yeah, it just makes me go back and think or go back and really listen to his lyrics. It's like, okay, at that point in time, it's like, all right, you in high school, you peeping what's around you. And I think about like even his verse on Jeezy's I Do, where it's
Mhm.
just talking about like marriage. And then now it's just like, what's the most recent verse that he's like put out relative to something?
I don't know, I was trying to remember who got one of his last features. I feel like Anderson .Paak got one of his later ones, but, like, recent, I don't know. I don't know, man. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I respect what he says. It's like he feel like he ain't got nothing to say, but I wanna hear raps from a 50-year-old. Like, especially now, being 34, it's like I wanna hear what you're going through. I wanna hear about, like, my son's in high school now or my son's in college and I don't like, I wanna hear that shit because we don't have that. We don't really have those type of verses in hip hop, and I'm glad that we've gotten to a point where, like, I say our elders, but, like, hip hop mature mature adults in hip hop, like adult niggas, like Pusha T, the Clips, like they're coming back out. Like they still dropping albums. Mobb Deep just dropped a fucking album out of fucking nowhere. But it's like I don't think we should age out our artists. Cause I mean fucking Mick Jagger is fucking 80, still wiggling on stage and screaming at niggas. It's like I don't think we should, yes, it's a young man's sport to a certain extent, but it's like, especially now at the age where hip hop is, because hip hop is also a Leo, born in July. Um, I think it's like we've like 50 years into hip hop, something like that, maybe more. Don't quote me on that. But it's like hip hop is also still young. So it's like I feel like we owe it to our culture to like let niggas rap until they're 80. So what? There's always something to rap about. I want to hear your life experiences. You ain't gotta talk about coke and drugs the whole time, unless you do it like real clever, like the Clips. But like outside of that, it's like there's always something to talk about. And I think that's one thing that I've learned about any type of artist. It's like if you love it, if this music is your passion, you're still recording. You might not release anything, but you're definitely recording and experimenting and you're still making music. But it's like we also want to hear some of that shit.
It's too also like the content, like you said, what is being said, what's being shared. And it's just like, hey, you think or you peep the conversations that's being had in music now. Like, okay, people, that lyricism. Not a lot of people really have a lot like, you have the older generations, the people
Mhm.
who we grew up with, yes, metaphors, similes, a lot of alliteration, like, I appreciate the Easter eggs and coming in, like, hearing what's what, but a lot of times nowadays you don't get that in rappers, like, a lot of the younger styles of folks, it's like, "Oh, this is that, like, how the fuck did you get this to work with that bar down this way?" And it's
Yeah.
just like, it's not a question of amazement when you ask these questions, just like, Imma rock with it, but longevity-wise, I
Mhm.
don't see nothing there with it.
It's hard, right? So we're getting to the point where like new niggas OGs was like Young Thug, and that's not a diss to Young Thug, but it's like give me a bar that really sat with you from Young Thug.
Horses don't stop, they keep going.
They keep going. That's it. Like now, imagine a nigga making his whole rap career off of that verse. Like, bro, I heard that shit, changed my life. Like that's when I knew I wanted to rap. Right there. Like I got something to say too.
No,
It has no
nah.
disrespect to Thug, but it's just like it just puts me. It just like it's just such a weird space to be in because like people that we vividly remember starting out, like that's somebody's like inspiration, you know, like so that's where I come from too. And to keep it positive, what keep it positive and like in just where we at in the state of music, like state of hip hop. Hip hop is one of the most popular music genres globally. So anybody think they can do it and everybody loves it, right? For whatever reason or it's been in my eyes decriminalized from a lot of like FCC type shit. It's like we hear it on commercials, Super Bowl, like it's everywhere, right? Super commercialized. So that also makes it super accessible. And like with the internet and where we are just like as a with information, it's like there's so many subgenres that's accessible to people. So like there's K-pop rap, there's anime rap, there's still the dirty south shit, there's still the experimental like Danny Brown type shit. Like there's JPEG Mafia fans. Like it's just so many niches that there's something for everybody. And there's like a skill set for those specific sounds. But at the same time, when it comes down to like lyricism, those are still the people that I feel like they cut through the noise so well. So that's why I feel like people like when JID come out, like they cut through the noise. When Jay Electronica dropped out of the blue, which that's another thing. I feel like that nigga only comes out when there's like a global catastrophe. But that's another thing. But like when he comes out, and like you said, when you had to like research lyrics and shit, like I had to read like what is this nigga talking about when he dropped some shit. And it's like I haven't had to do that in so long. It's like I forgot what it's like, and I don't know if new listeners have that experience or want that experience, right? So it's interesting to say the least. It's like there's so much music, it's almost too much music in the rap world. So it's I feel like we were so limited like even back like in the CD and MP3 days, like you only had a handful of artists, right? With the access to us, the access to record and to put out music. And then here comes Soldier Boy.
Well, people clowned his ass so bad, like, when he came out initially. Like, I remember his, performance at the BET Awards and the way
Mhm.
Jamie Foxx introduced him, and it's just like, "Oh, this shit's a joke," but it's like, if you only knew.
Soulja Boy is a marketing genius. You remember when you would download on LimeWire the first 3 songs, whatever you looked for was like crank that? It was like always like that tag with that George Bush, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, and then fucking crank that. It would always be crank that would be like the first song in that search bar. And then the ringtones. He was like a multi-platinum rapper for
Oh, it used
ringtones.
to Bluetooth the hell out of fucking. I remember one time, it was a car ride. I remember that bitch was 23 minutes. I just spent 23 minutes, like, going through all the fucking Bluetooth ringtones.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I remember I had, hella ones, like Bathing Apes,
Mhm.
Crank That. I remember I don't know why I had, like, the chipmunk version of Silk's Meeting in My Bedroom, but yeah,
That
it
was a
was
thing, the
hella
Chipmunk versions of songs.
it was hella Bluetooth downloads. Like niggas did not have to like always go to LimeWire. People could just Bluetooth from somebody else who
Mhm.
had like, why the fuck do you have this much data saved towards this
Mhm.
phone? Like niggas don't know. Like niggas don't know the fact you just had to be so attentive and so mindful of how you utilize this fucking phone that you had. Because if you pressed the fucking middle and went on the internet, oh, your ass was getting in trouble because money
Give me that
spent.
damn
You didn't
phone.
wanna get on the fucking internet. Like, you just wanted to fucking call people, and if you on minutes and you sent a fucking chain text, pissed, irked.
Hey, you
You
better
just
not call
wasted
nobody after before
yeesh.
9.
Right. Times. Times. But also like the limits within music that you had growing up or just in general people. Like
Yeah.
we had what we had. We had what we were exposed to, like 106
Yeah.
Park, radio, and then you get to these places where you have other people from different areas come in. Like,
Mhm.
I still remember the night that my friend from the West Coast introduced me to Chance the Rapper and
Mm.
listening to Cocoa Butter Kisses. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck is this? Like, I remember listening, like, hearing Vic Mensa's, Orange Soda on SoundCloud. Still
Yeah.
had a bitch saved. Still learning about various different West Coast rappers to this day, and that's just, like, genre within rapping, and it's like, okay, you
Mhm.
expand past that, like, R&B, pop, like, even getting into Bad Bunny. Like, I know he said, like, "Hey, you got 4 months to learn before the Super Bowl," but,
Yeah.
bro, that shit is fucking amazing. So it's just, like,
It's
expanding amongst these various music genres. So, I would say for you, getting into Playlist Park, like, how did that come to be? And just, like, talking about that. Like, I know you showcase information about yourself. Like, hey, some people, like you say, it's something to be uncomfortable about, something to
Mhm.
promote and publish. I know even with me, with posting clips and content, my ass gets sweaty. Like, I start sweating. So it's definitely, I feel you when it comes to that. But having this space and showcasing it to be what it is now. And shout out to
Mhm.
being number 9 up there in Substack. Like, that is cool as hell.
Right.
Like,
It's so
yes. So how did it come to be? I wanna learn. Like, I wanna know.
Yeah, so Playlist Park is my Substack I started, like I said, during my unemployment. I was trying to figure out a way to distribute like my playlists because like prior to like I was a blogger, like in the blog era, like I would when that was a thing. You might be familiar with like Dat Piff or I'm trying to think of other sites. Ill Roots, you heard that. Like just anywhere like on the internet you would get new music, right? So I was doing that for a little bit and that fizzled out around 2016, 2018. So I was trying to figure out, well, what's a way that I can distribute music that might not necessarily like host on a website, but I can still give it to people directly instead of spamming people's Instagram stories or like, like this is when Twitter was phasing out when it got bought out by that maniac. But I was I looked up like newsletter type of platforms. I was like, oh, it makes sense. Just like giving people playlists straight to their inbox. But I didn't know what else I would say outside of, oh, here's this playlist for this month. So that just became like a trial and error thing. And you could see it like within the post. It was like my first couple posts was like, look, here we go. Here's a playlist. See y'all next month. And then more of it became easier to talk about myself. That I guess is where the Leo thing comes in, right? Um, so that's what came naturally. That's what was the easiest at the time. But then I also felt I was like, I don't want this to be about me. It's not about me. And I feel like that was always um my biggest struggle when it came to writing these things is like I wanted to be somewhat information. I want you to leave with something. I want you to leave with some kind of new something. I don't want you to necessarily. I don't want it to be like a diary entry, right? I didn't want it to just be about me and then here's a playlist, or like it had to make sense with the playlist. Like it couldn't just be two opposing things, right? So it just kind of happened, to be honest with you. Like when I started talking about what I was going through at the time, and then it just happened to work out where I was like, oh, me and Mick Jenkins also have moms. We both have moms that are English teachers. That's cool. It's like we both have that. And then it became a thing where I was like finding that connection between an album and where I am personally. So like in that instance, like Mick Jenkins, the piece I'm referring to was like Mick Jenkins had just released an album off of his solo, like without an album, without a label. And listening to his like NPR interviews, he was saying that it was like he was frustrated because his album is called The Patience. So it was like him trying to be patient enough to get out of his deal and to like do the things he really wants to do. And I related to that so much because it was like I want to do so much creatively, but also it's like I'm like in this corporate world and I've always like prided myself of being like a corporate creative or being that connector between like my creative homies and like getting them paid within the corporate space or just having like a consistent check or like that random check. Like I always wanted to help artists in any way I could, in any capacity, right? So I was finding those likenesses within like music I wanted to talk about and just like where I was personally. Like there's this one thing I wrote about with Lil Yachty when he was experimenting with singing and other stuff like that. And it was like, and I wrote about when Lil Wayne did a rock album and Kid Cudi did a rock album, just like not being confined to, one space or one like thought process and like giving yourself creative grace to try things and fail, and to continue to explore. So I think that's where the gems came from. It's like finding those like connectors between the two where I can still be vulnerable, as yucky as it feels, give people like put people on new music that I like and I think that other people will like, and also leaving people with some kind of gem, some kind of inspiration to keep going because shit is rough out here. Shit could get a little hectic.
Oh, that's real. Like, definitely just we wanna be able to provide music and educate people in some way, shape, or form because you never know, like, what you share, how that can uplift somebody. Like you said, you found people in conversation in common, like, hey, like, similar experiences took place and sharing that. So that's dope. Like, that's cool. Just to be able to see the growth and take place. And like you said, giving yourself grace to grow. Like, that is something because like, you get irritated at these small little things and they're not happening, and you don't see what you see in your head, like, immediately, so I appreciate that. Thank you so very much for that. Now, with you talking about playlists, like, getting the sense of creativity in playlists, now incorporating your astrological placements into that. Your big 3,
Mhm,
your Leo Sun, Cap
mhm.
Moon, Sag Rising. If you were to create a playlist consisting of those 3, what would you have in it based
Mm,
upon those?
okay. Imma start with the Leo first. I feel like that's kinda easy. So it had to be flashy, it had to be loud. So, like, it'd probably start with "Bling Bling" by the Hot Boys. Um, Probably go into Sada Baby's "Fresh." It's the just off the hook alone, I'd be fresh every evening. Like, I feel like anything with my Leo placement is just me talking shit, or it's, like, any type of shit talking song that just, like, falls into place from there. I think that's perfect, honestly. Try to think like, any particulars. Like, yeah, pretty much anything that's talking shit. Fucking "Cognac Queen" by Meg, just throw it on there. "Urge" by Doja Cat, I got the urge to talk my shit. First 10, just talking shit, right? For my Capricorn moon, just cash talk. Money on my mind, my little Wayne. Uh, there's this one line by Chuck English of the Cool Kids I feel like is this like Capricorn personified, and it's off of like one of his like solo albums that came out like 2014. The line was, "What was so important you had to call me on my job?" Like that. Oh, like it hits every bone, like every vein in my body every time I hear that. I was like, "Cause what you need? What do you want?"
Damn.
Right? So, like, that A$AP Rocky's work, the original, not the remix, with all due respect. Um, Working Day and Night by Michael Jackson. Pretty much anything that has to do with work, 'cause I will say that as, like, a Capricorn moon, I do enjoy work. I do like to work. Sagittarius, Wild and Free, Curtis Mayfield, Free by Denise Williams, Young Hearts Run Free by I forgot her name. I can hear the song, but I forgot shorty's name.
Yeah.
That one, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, just anything that has to do with freedom. Anything that feels like freedom. I will say one of my favorite songs I will put on there, like, I played the shit right before we hopped on, it's Kenny Mason's "Chevron." Like, Kenny Mason might be one of my favorite new artists, like, hands down. Highly recommend. Dude out of Atlanta, this young kid out of Atlanta. He collabs with JID from here, every now and then. He collabed with Denzel Curry a few times, but that song makes me feel free. I love that song so much. It's pretty much on every playlist I listen to. But that was just to start off. So I gave you what, like, let's see, like maybe 7 or 8. So that would probably be my concise playlist for like a quick introduction because my playlist can be long as hell. But I will say this, I've gotten to a point where like I think of playlists like CDs. Like we can only put about 13 of them hoes on a CD. Right? So it's like
Mhm.
I think of playlists now too as like CDs and like like EPs. I was like, if I was to design an EP, if I only had a handful of songs, what would that sound like? Or like how intimate can I form my own narrative with like a song with these songs that are like, from a playlist.
And that's a good point to take into consideration for a playlist because I definitely have that one playlist, like, not even one, it's a good amount of them that are, like, hours at a time.
Which is cool, but you got everything in that motherfucker. It's like you might have 2 or 3 sounds, like conflicting over time, or if you like me and I just throw the whole thing on shuffle, especially when they that long. Like I just like let the algorithm DJ for me.
Mhm. Yeah, so no, that's definitely, like, to have in consideration. Like, hey, making playlists moving forward, just, have them be condensed to
Yeah.
like you said. But that made me think though, I was like, "Well, what about records?" Like, it made me think about Donna Summer's song. It was, like, 16 minutes, and it was like, "Damn, that's a long ass song." But
Mhm.
do you consider time? Like, is it time or the amount of songs? Because you could have like a 30-minute shit, you probably have an hour playlist,
Mhm.
and depending on the songs that you have on there, you could probably come out with like 15, 20 songs.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
is it like that? And I think that falls in line with like Capricorn placements, like quality and foundation is like, hey, do you take in the aspect of quality within musicality, or do you take in the time preference of like you having but just so many songs?
That's a great question. Honestly, it depends. I don't really look as it as quantity, but like you said, quality. So like, especially if I'm trying to form a narrative with the playlists, or like I'm trying to specifically like curate to a certain thing, to a certain like theme, it definitely goes the theme comes first, I'll say that, versus like how long it is. Like if I can get there with 12, cool. If I can get there with 8, also cool. But I also know that, a lot of people don't really favor short playlists. It's like when they think of playlists, they think of longer pieces. So like I try to, you know, uh consider at least 12. Like, I also think, like, okay, what's it like a CD's worth of music, right? Like, or, like, if somebody released something, and it's like, if you drop 22 songs on an album, it's like, nigga, that's a lot, you know? So, I try to make it to a point where, like, people actually listen to it front and back. It's not one of those things where people phase out after, like, track 16.
Mm, that's a good point. That's
Mhm.
a
So,
good
like, I
point.
try to be intentional with it and, like, try to make sure, like, the listener is also, like, intentional, like, or appreciates the intentionality that went through it. So, it's like, if I'm intentional, you be intentional with the listening.
That is that is a good point in consideration. And also just understanding like, hey, with in conversations, like, ooh, like comfort within music
Mhm.
and keeping the fact that we both have like our moon signs, like yours is a Capricorn moon, mine's a Cancer moon. So it's just like,
Mhm.
yeah, there's a sense of comfort when it comes to music. I wonder if there's like with us in conversation, just peeping like, hey, like the different qualities that we pick up when we engage and listen to music.
Mm.
So, like, yeah, wanting to create something intentionally to cater or provide for other people. Yes. Me, like, I would definitely have bitches like 7 hours. Like, yeah, we just running through them hoes.
Yeah.
Like, this is the theme. The song is this.
Come on.
Like, we're gonna go with that. I talked to one friend, like, so did you put them in alphabetical order? I'm like, why? Why would
No.
I do that? Like
Yeah. Who has time for that? No.
like, the crazy thing is I did at one point, and my friend was like, "Well, so how does it sound? Like,
Yeah.
what's the vibe?" And I was like, "You know what? That's a good point." And then I just got to, like, how does this make me feel?
Mhm.
And it's just, like, one playlist is just, like, slow. Like, it's nice, it's slow, it's vibe, and then from that playlist, it makes me think, like, I need to make a playlist with just, like, guitar. Like
Mhm. Yeah.
I was just like, chill sense of guitar. So, yeah, the sense of feeling, like, that is
Mhm.
what drives a lot of my playlist and
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, this is nice." But I know I found myself recently, and not even recently, it's just, like, a lot like jazz in the background playlist on Spotify. That is what I find myself like, I will sit on the couch and, like, have the little red light adjusted and just chill and just, like, vibe out, and, like, I'll find myself, like, just thinking to the point I fall asleep, and I'm like, "Damn,
Mhm.
it's late. It's time to go to bed."
That's probably called.
Ooh, you brought up one thing too, just, like, I take that and it's like, "How am I gonna get to this?" You brought up, like, anime rap. Have you listened or did you watch the anime that I told you about? I feel like I done
Mm.
told you about, like, 2 or 3 of them. You
Yeah.
have? But granted, I mean, that's fair because I never, like
I ain't been watching TV, to be honest with you.
I never finished watching Dragon Ball Z, so, yeah.
Ever?
No, ever. So it's fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
So it's okay. But speaking of, and completely understandable with not watching TV. Like I don't really
Mhm.
be watching TV. Like I have a TV like to play
Yeah,
video games, but I don't be watching
same.
TV.
I'll be honest, like, it's been American Dad in the background. It's just background TV. I can't tell you what's going on, what's happening. I just need noise. That's not necessarily music, because like, I'll chime in and out, and that'll be a distraction, but, like, TV, I don't know if it's, like, connected to how I grew up, like, just always having a TV on in some room to, like, keep me active, but, like, that's I need that to, like, help me wash dishes or, like, do fold laundry or something like that, but, like, I'm not actively watching TV at
So I have to
this
say, I wonder if it's like a generation thing
maybe.
because like prior generations to ours is like, oh, they gotta have a TV. Like that's how we get our news. Like that's how
Yeah,
we get our information.
definitely
But with us, it's
generation.
like, okay, the TV is nice. Not pressed to have it.
Yeah.
Like, entertainment, yeah, but, it's definitely I feel you with the TV or having something on, like, when I'm cleaning up,
Mhm.
either music, the podcast, something take place, but it made me like, I know you said you hadn't been watching TV though, but, we're
Nice.
in the sense of equal fairness of not watching each other's anime recommendations, but it makes me also think though, like when it comes to anime, like do you have a character that you think of like when it comes to your sign? Like your sun sign, your
Mm.
moon sign, whatever sign, which one you think of?
Yeah, it's funny. I think Yusuke's definitely got a fire is a fire sign. I think he's probably Aries, honestly, because that's an angry ass nigga. Like, like he's so angry. Like, but I respect it. I respect it so much. It's like Yusuke is like, I'm gonna beat your ass if you say one more thing. That it just gives off Aries energy. But for a Leo, man, that's a great question. I don't know. Okay, anime reference. I feel like Luffy, because he's happy go lucky, and it's like unless you cross him, he's like he tells you exactly who he is straight up. Like I'm gonna be a pirate king, and it's like you look at him crazy, right? But he told you from the jump who he was, what he's about, and like he's friendly enough unless you piss him off or you fuck with one of his friends.
Everybody's people.
He
Like,
bound to people. And it's like if you gang, you family. I got you. But if you not, you not. So I feel like that's very Leo like centered. So I'll get that to Luffy for sure.
oh yeah, as well as like what is it, Leo, the childlike energy. I also give like Joy Boy too.
Hmm.
So just like bouncing off the walls and everything. So
Exactly.
yeah, I see that. I see
Said.
that. Oh, yeah, now you brought it up, and I feel like you also tied it in too. Like you said you're an introvert. Yeah. You said that you are an introvert, but something
Hmm.
I do notice too about your chart is that you have like a good amount of placements retrograde. So it's you showcased or you mentioned like, hey, like there's opportunities to provide you to be in a space, but not have that attention on you.
Hmm.
So, that made me want to ask you about, like, being a Leo. Like, how is that for you? I know I have, like, 2 other Leos on here, and they're just
Hmm.
like, "Yeah, I'm not pressed to be, like, in a spotlight like that." So, for you, being somebody who, like, records or takes photos of folks, how do you feel? Especially, like, your son is in one of the houses that, like, is at the top of the chart.
Hmm.
Their sons, like, one son was in the 12th house, 8th house, like, kinda to themselves. 12th house, I'm a 12th house son, niggas be chilling to themselves a lot.
Yeah.
So, with you, how is it with you as a Leo and your son in the 9th house?
It's funny because I did see. I think the last one you did, the last interview you did with the Leo, and I feel a lot like them. It's like we I don't want the attention, right? But I will say this. Here's the caveat. Like the attention I do want, I want it for my work. I was like, if I want to be seen, I want to be seen. And I think this is where my Capricorn, like the moon, my sun signs like collab, right? So it's like if I do want to be seen, I want to be seen for my work. I want to be seen for like not necessarily like, professionally, but like, the art that I put out, right? So if I do want that acclaim or whatever that attention that comes with it, like I want it to be from like what comes out of my head and not necessarily the personality. Like that can be an accoutrement to to what's coming up here, but, like, I want my ideas and my creativity to be the forefront. All that other stuff is cool, you know, or it's like, extra lagniappe, as we say it down here.
What? How you say it?
Lagniappe
Okay.
means a little
Gotcha.
extra on the side.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, like the idea like, ooh, the sun, attention, like all eyes on you.
Mhm.
I'm cool.
I'm good. I'm good. Honestly, I'm better off like on a one-on-one conversation, like how we doing. But like in a group, I was like, I'll say my few things. Like I might phase out. It's like it's funny because like even now I'll get like, are you shy or are you just like I just don't have anything to say. I got
What is
nothing to say.
it?
I
No,
don't
like
know what
somebody
to
had
tell you.
that TikTok with Vince Staples' voice. She's like, I
I
don't
don't
know
know them
niggas.
niggas.
I
I
don't know
don't know
them
them
niggas.
niggas. I don't
Like
know them niggas.
I don't know you,
I
bro.
don't know
Like
them niggas. I don't
it
know
is
y'all.
not being rude. I just don't know you. Like we haven't had like a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
And it's just like I said, if it's a group of people that I've had a one-on-one conversation, if I
Mhm.
phase out, nobody will be offended. But if it's
Mhm.
amongst like a handful of niggas I don't know, I'm thinking like, damn, well, they feel like I feel like
Uh-huh.
they feel away.
Mhm.
Like,
I don't know if it's an age thing too, but it's like at a certain point, if I know this is just gonna be a fly by night interaction, I'm not investing too much into this conversation. You know, I don't know what that says about me, but it's like I'm not gonna see you again. Probably not. So it's like I'll be cordial. We can chop it up a little bit, but I'm saving the little energy I do have because my social battery is on 6
small
and
talk.
I'm ready to go home.
Oh, like, I can't. Like, I'm so sorry. If people be wanting to have a conversation with me, I'm just like, "Why?
Catch
What?"
me in the morning. It
It's hard because it's weird. Cause like, sometimes that I'll be social, and it's like,
Mhm,
ooh, I'll have reflections after a conversation, like, "Why did we get to this depth of conversation, and
mhm.
I just met you? Why? Why did I feel comfortable sharing that with you?" But I
Wait, that
also have a lot of situations where it's like, people will tell me stuff, and I'm just like,
yeah. Why you
"What?"
telling me that?
Right.
You know, like
Like, what made you feel comfortable telling me this? Like, one girl
right,
was
it's
like,
like, I didn't
"Yeah."
say a word, it's like, you just need somebody to bounce, to just, like, to hear you, because that's, something I've realized too, is, like, some people just be talking and they just need a body in front of them. It's like, I don't know what my face said to you that was like, "He wants to hear everything I'm about to say." It's like, now I gotta figure out a way to leave. It's like, now I gotta tell like, "Oh, my dog is calling, I gotta go, big dog."
It's just like at this point of getting older, and it's like, all right, I have to tell people like, hey, I gotta go. I'm sorry. Like this has been
Yeah.
nice, but no, even like I gotta do that with my mama, like with elders, like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, all right, it's been nice. I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. I remember one time she's like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's a pro yeah,
But
I
I'm
think
just
for me
like, because I feel like people be offended, but it's just like,
they do.
yo, I am not invested no more.
I don't know how else to leave this situation,
Like,
so I gotta be upfront. I think for me, like, my facial expressions and my body language tells you everything. So, like, if I'm turned one way, it's like I look like I'm trying to leave,
and it's just
or,
like,
like, my facial expressions, like, I already, like, I'm looking all over the place, I'm not here, you know? So it's like, I'm just gonna go physically because 'cause I've already checked out at least 4
it's
sentences ago.
ugh, because I don't know, people wanna have conversations, and I'm just like,
And it's like, it's not like we antisocial, it's just like the social battery is just real short.
at this
It's
point
just
in time, you
real
reach out and
short.
say, "Hey, I'm so sorry." I remember one time, like, somebody was nice enough to tell me, like, "Hey, I'm so sorry, my social battery is, like, low," like and I was
Mhm.
like, "You know what? Respect
Out
that.
to you.
I
Yeah.
get that. I appreciate that." And then, like, some days later, they followed up and like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm just like, Okay, cool, no problem." But
Mhm.
it have those moments where I'm just like, "Yeah, I don't wanna feel like I don't."
I don't have it today.
And it can be like that with communication, like,
Mhm.
me, I'm just like, "Yo," texting, be like in a texting storm and just get a moment like, "I'm good." And be like, "Are you okay?"
I
I'm
can't
like,
do that's
"I'm"
one thing I can't do no more. I can't do that no more. It's like, I'll send you a voicemail, or if it's super urgent, Imma call you. But, like, I cannot text all day, and I'm like, "What do you want? What do you want?" What is it?
And it used to be like that, like, "Oh, hey, you can be able to, like, communicate, like, we can have a whole conversation via text message, then be online socials, like, having a whole different thread of
3
conversation."
different conversations. But we also didn't have as much shit to do. Like, we
Listen.
got shit to do now. Like, you know?
Yeah,
I don't
like
know. And then I will say that even when we don't have shit to do, it's like you prioritize your time a little bit differently, right? So it's like now you eating into my time. Shit is already kind of tight. So it's like I don't really get a lot of time anymore. So like you really like cherish that shit. Like you keep it sacred.
and people like, "Damn, man, you be to yourself a lot," and it's like, and that's okay. Like, don't have to be pressed to be outside and engage with everybody all the time.
Love
I
it here.
enjoy my
I love
time.
my couch. I love it here.
I find myself falling asleep on my couch a lot easier than I find myself in my bed, but I don't know why. Like,
It's
couches are
pre-couch.
just
It's
comfortable.
pre-bed. That's all it is.
That's true, but that's the thing though, it's a pre-bed, but before y like, by the time, like, "Oh shit, I gotta get up, I gotta go to my bed to go to sleep," it's like you kinda have, like, this little bit of energy where it's like, "Okay, you in your bed, you ain't sleepy no more."
Yeah, it's new space. Now you gotta get re-sleepy.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I get it, but it's like, yeah, this shit kinda sucks. So,
Yeah.
no, it's like, what is it? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. 'Cause I found a question that I wanted to ask you. Do you think that Leos get unfairly judged for loving themselves?
That's a good question. You know, it's hard, right? Because I totally see on the outside looking in because I've had the pleasure of like knowing other Leos, like the stereotypical Leos is like, oh, do I act like that? It's like then I get it. Cause like I that would piss me off too, or that would get on my nerves too. But I think there's just like a sureness about Leos that it's either is off-putting because it could be obnoxious because they like that all the time, right? It's either like it's cute and it's flattering to some people, or it's obnoxious, and there's no real in between, right? So I will say that I think it's how we decide to love ourselves can be a little off-putting to people that are either not sure or like still trying to figure out how to love themselves or can't identify what self-love to us looks like, you know? So
Hmm.
I'll say that. I'll say that yes, I think we get like a funky rap, but also some niggas do be like that. And they justify it in I wouldn't say the hate, but just to justifying the annoyance that some niggas give out, some Leos give out.
Yeah, 'cause no lie, sometimes it's like it gives pick me energy from some folks.
Yeah, it's like, can you chill? It's funny because I've seen the stereotypical Leos in the wild, and it's like, y'all niggas, y'all a lot. I get it. I get it.
It makes me think of one time I knew of this Leo and we went out. And I guess she thought it was, like, gonna be chill and
Mhm.
introvert stuff going out, but now people got like, I guess she got upset that I had the attention from people, and she felt
Mm,
that way. But she was Leo sun, Leo moon too. Leo moons, I love
mm,
them, words of affirmation all the time. But yeah, yeah,
mhm,
like, ego, so I'm serious.
uh-huh,
I
uh-huh.
love them, but
Yeah.
yes, that can be a situation, but I also
Oh,
see
yeah.
that it's like with the square, cause like Leo, Scorpio, so there's a square and there's tension in
Mm,
it, so it's like, it's it's not bad, cause for me,
mhm,
it's like with my placements, having all those placements in the 12th house, dealing like subconscious mental stuff, it's like I wanna be seen, I
mhm.
want to do all this stuff, but at the same time, it's like, "Ooh, we ain't gotta be always in the forefront all the time. It's
Right.
okay. It's just
Yeah.
chilling. But, yeah, I guess that's, like, people who have Leo in, like, the 1st house and stuff, but their
Mhm,
sun there as well. Like, I know people who are Leo risings
mhm,
and definitely, like, brightness in a room with them. And I
uh-huh,
remember talking to one friend, I'm just like, "You are very optimistic when it comes to meeting folks," and I'm just like,
mhm.
with my Scorpio place, I'm like, "You can't be like that all
You can
the
trust
time."
everybody like that off the
I'm
rip?
just like,
Why?
"Okay. Alright, cool," but, nah, I definitely appreciate Leo placements. Another thought just came to mind too, or
Mhm.
question. Leos, I heard, need cheerleaders. Like, do you feel as though like being a
Mm.
cheerleader for other people, and I think that gets into another question I have for you too, is that you feel like you need to have your own personal cheerleader to help you get through your day to day? Not through your day to day, but it's nice
Right.
to have like a cheerleader as you to cheer other people on too.
Yeah, it's nice to be affirmed, I'm not gonna lie. It's nice to be affirmed, it's nice to, I don't know about personal cheerleader, but it's just nice to be seen, you know? It's nice to be seen or recognized for the work that you're putting in or just, like, any type of encouragement. Because, like I said, like, shit can get hectic out here, you know? And sometimes, you don't realize when you're gassing everyone up that sometimes, like, you don't get that in, the reciprocated. And, like, for me, it's not necessarily something that I'm looking for, but when it does happen, it does, like, kinda stop me or kinda pauses me. It was like, "That was nice. That was really nice," you know? So I just think that's just, like I think that it goes deeper for Leos because a lot of times because we are some placements, being that this source of warmth and light for other people is sometimes it's like, okay, like who heals the healer type thing. Or like who's there is also like encouraging the encourager. So I just feel like that's nice. It's just nice to have those words of encouragement, those words of affirmation, especially
Mhm.
the beast.
And that makes me think, like, earlier this year when we were talking, you were telling me about, like, how to or the opportunity to allow people to support you, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Ooh, that's that's definitely something," and I feel like that really leans on that Leo Aquarius axis, just like, hey, you want to be acknowledged and seen and recognized, but also like understanding community support and having that there for you. So, wanting you to be able to expand on that if you can, just like how you've experienced that and like growth with it at this point in time in life.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that back up because that was definitely part of my Saturn return. For a long time, like, as a creative, and it goes back to, like, the perfectionism or, like, waiting for the right time to do certain things. It was like I got to a point where I had no choice but to let people, like, I was like I wanna say I was asked out, but I was like, I ain't have no income. I ain't have nothing coming in. So I was like, "Okay, let me just put myself out there." And the thing about doing it at that time is I realized there was people that were waiting on me. They were just waiting on me. They've been wanting to support me for years, right? And it wasn't until I gave others the opportunity to support me for them to show up for me, you know? So I think it comes like a little bit in between of like being vulnerable enough to ask them for help, which is it's hard. It's hard for Leos, right? And it's hard for I would say it's hard for anybody, right? To, like, really shell down your ego and ask for help in your most vulnerable state, and that's where I was with it. I was like, "I'm not gonna ask y'all for money directly, but if y'all wanna support me, here's this opportunity. Here are these prints," or, like, "Here's XYZ that I'm doing. It would help right now," that type of thing. So, and I don't know, that's how that message kinda came about. I was like, "Oh, wow, there's people that were excited to support me, excited to help me," and they were literally just waiting on me, for me to put myself out there or for, to be sensitive or, vulnerable enough to put myself out there. So I just think that a lot of us are like that, where it's like, you don't know the support you have out there until you go out there or say until you speak up. How they used to say that, the old folks, like, "Closed mouths don't get fed,"
That's very true. I
you
get
know?
like and it's not even, what is it, a combative to that. It's something that I think of is that, yeah, you can have support or people who are willing to support, but a thought that comes to my mind is like, what is it that they want for
Mm,
support? Like, why are they wanting to support me? Like, what do they want in return? Like,
mhm,
obviously, it won't be always monetary, but my thing to that is the feeling of leverage, and like, I don't want the sense of support from somebody to have that sense of leverage to come along with
mm.
it, where it's like, "Ooh, I helped you. You remember when I helped you?" Like,
Yeah, let me
yeah,
cash in that
like,
cape real quick.
yeah, be genuine. Like, I
Mm,
guess that's the thing too when it comes to support, like, not wanting to question people's genuine, like, engagement with you when it wanting to have support. Like, "Hey, are you supporting me?" 'Cause she's like, "Alright." I like what you're doing. I just wanna see you grow and
Mhm.
develop and be this
Yeah.
amazing person that you have potential to be. Or it's
Mhm.
just like, "Okay, I see you. Imma support you because you down and
Mhm.
out at this point in time," but it's like, "Alright, life comes up for me. Where you at? Like,
Right. Right.
I did this for you.
Uh,
Nigga, where
mm.
you at for me?" Like, I don't know. That's like you can go on with it.
Yeah,
So,
and it's funny you say that too, because I think that's another, like, caveat to, like, that whole experience I had to learn too, because it's like it's like, I felt like I had to earn, like, that from people. Like, when I say earn, like, I had to earn whatever, the support, I had to earn whatever, right? I don't know if that's a Capricorn thing or what, but, like, it took me a while to just accept kindness, you know? And that might be a whole nother conversation that's like, transcends astrology. It might be like a male thing, right? But it's like I had to get to a point where it's like, nigga, it's okay to accept nice things just cause. Or like let people do nice things for you just because without rhyme or reason. There's nothing behind it. It's like somebody saw something and they thought of me and they thought I would like it, or they just wanted to see a nigga smile. And that's it. And even as a kid, it took me forever to compute that. I never forget my mom came home, like I must have been like middle school, elementary school. Out of the blue, she heard me mention like a video game. Street Volume 2 was the game, right? Everyone had it. I played it once. I needed that shit in my life, right? So my mom heard me talk about it, and she came back with it one Walmart trip, and I was like, Why'd you give me this?" Mind you, I'm like 8, I'm like, "Why would I do for this?" She was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, Why'd you buy me this? Why'd you do this?" Like, it was pissing her off, and I didn't understand why she was getting upset because it's like, I really couldn't comprehend. It was like, "What did I do to deserve this?" It's like my grade like, I just got a C on my report card. What's up? What I do? Like, what did I do something that I don't know about? But like, it's you just gotta let people be nice to you. you know?
yeah, no, I feel you. Like, yeah, just being aware or just being alert or being attentive to people because it's
Hmm.
just like, I don't know, their mentality is just like, you don't know what people could want in return for things that
Hmm.
they do for you. And it's just
Which is
like,
fair.
okay,
Which is
I get
fair. But I
yeah.
think that goes back to it's like if my intentions were one way, that's what I'm rocking with. Like I can't, if you match my intention, cool. If you don't, also cool. But my intention behind it was pure. It was like I wanted you to have this. And if that's how you move, cool. And I feel like that also, like you find your tribe that way too. You find people that, operate like that. Or you recognize people that don't a lot easier also.
That is very true. That's a good point. And I see that within the ventures that you've made for yourself with Playlist Park and what is your photography? I wanna say it's Coming Home, but is that part of the title of a
Rather
series?
be home.
Rather
Yeah.
Be Home. So,
Yeah.
I want you to explain, like, in detail, like, what you got going on, like, promoting yourself and plugging in, because I want people to know about what you got going on, because it's dope.
Sure. Yeah. So like we mentioned, I got Substack, Playlist Park, where you can get a playlist monthly with some couple gems here and there. Um, also started selling tote bags for some merch, as well as prints from some of my street photography, my photo walks from you can find that on nickpierre.pixet. It's in my bio for my Instagram and my Substack. It's the easiest way to find that. Renaissance Slick, SLIK on Instagram and all the other socials, which is a whole nother thing we can get into another time. But yeah, I'm not hard to find. I'm trying to think what else. I think that's it. I think that's everything.
Okay. It's cool, cool. So, I've appreciated this time, and I promise you we could go on and expand more,
Yeah, we
but
could.
we definitely got into the depth of understanding, and you would understand as somebody who was a videographer, or still is a videographer, just lean more into photography now, just like editing. Yeah. It
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, this has been fun. I've
Yeah, it's
enjoyed
been fun.
talking to
Thank you for
you.
having me.
Yeah, I'm happy you came on here. Like, we always have a good time in conversation. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I hope that people have been able to take some information away from you and as well as the various topics that we've talked about. So if they want to find you, like I'm gonna drop the stuff, like the contact information in the summary.
cool.
And yeah, if you have any other following or last words you want to share with folks.
Nah, man, just do what your heart feels, bro. Like whatever's your passion is your passion. That nagging thing in your head and your heart, just do it. Just do that thing.
It
You
makes
gotta
me
I gotta keep it southern.
yeah, like hey, Southern folks, that's who we are. So that's what it'll be. But
That's what it's
yeah.
gonna be. Goddamn.
Exactly. So until next time, we just gonna be easy. So be easy, y'all.
Peace.